I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Jackie Auguste. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm fine. How are you, Angel?
I am excellent as can be. Do tell us, what part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Wonderful. What's the temperature like now?
It's about 16 degrees Celsius, which is not warm.
Yeah, tell me about it. Well, do tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Singing.
Tell me more.
Well, I'm the lead singer of a band called Across the Board. We are a Canadian rock band, and we're an indie band that's basically been playing in and around Toronto and across Canada for the last 4 years. We're all over the internet. We got about 500 videos online, and we just released our third album, which charted.
Love it. Wow. Congratulations. Wow. It's so good when you're putting in the work and you see results. Yeah, that is wonderful.
I know. I think I had a small seizure when I saw that.
Wow. So who did you learn the skill of singing from?
Nobody. I'm totally self-taught. In fact, I became a singer in our band because the lead singer left, and there was nobody else to sing, so it was just left to me. And thank gosh it worked out.
That is amazing. So why will you continue to repeat that skill of singing now that you've jumped in, you've been thrown in the deep end, right?
That's right. Well, because it worked out for me, because we've managed to build a bigger fan following, and it's fun. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I sing more and more and more because my confidence grew with singing, and then I got to the point where I feel almost ready to say that I'm a singer. But it's funny because I've had 3 albums with this band singing, and I still have a hard time calling myself the lead singer.
Yeah, I think singers, the most I've interviewed, they really shun away from saying I'm a singer, which is pretty intriguing to me. Like, I can say very confidently, I am not a singer.
Yeah, I remember people used to tease me all the time because I've always been into sports and artsy things in school, and I had a lot of talents as a kid, and my friends would say, Jackie, what is it you don't do? And I would always laugh and say, well, I can't sing. Wow. I would always say that.
That is amazing. So I go to Across the Board on YouTube, and I'll find you. Facebook, and I'll find you guys, yeah?
We will. We're Across the Board. On YouTube, we are ATB Music Canada, and on Facebook, we're Across the Board Productions. But if you Google Across the Board Band, you'll come up with probably several pages of stuff to choose from. So you'll be able to find something for sure.
That's great. I visited Canada and I picked up this yeah thing to the end of my sentences. So
yeah,
there it is. Yeah. It's so catchy. A.
The more west you go, the more it's A.
Yes, everything is A. That's wonderful. Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
The one thing I've done consistently over the last 3 years is to write stuff. As a songwriter, you have to always be writing. Sometimes it doesn't go anywhere. You just write a bunch of stuff and it just sits in the book. But every once in a while, it comes out into a song. So I find that consistently writing has probably been the number one thing that's been important for me as a musician.
How does that make you feel?
It's a great place to dump your emotions or work things out or express yourself. I think as humans, we bottle a lot of stuff up and we forget to express ourselves. And I think you can express yourselves in a variety of ways. You can express yourself through music, through sports, through writing, through talking. And I think that we can't, as humans, work things out of our mind until we get them out of our mouth.
Yeah, it's really amazing how it works, isn't it? When you write, how you're able to then compartmentalize everything. Yeah, it's been a treat for me being able to do that. Really helps you to get the steam off, if you would, sometimes.
I write lists. I like lists and lists and lists, and I don't even use them. I just write them. I think it just is a way to organize my mind.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on in my mind, and doing that as well. I'll just share something like Trello. Trello is something I use a lot. It's an app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the app I just create to do, doing, done, and I get to slide things across. But yeah, sometimes I do things and then I put it in there just to tick it off. Lists definitely help. But that enough about me. Let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Jackie, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Sitting on the back of a couch in my parents' apartment when I was about 2, watching my parents talk to each other.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
No idea. I figure it has to do with me observing them and learning from them. My parents passed away about a year ago, and both of them within about 8 weeks of each other. But they have been married their whole, they'd been married for, I don't even know how many years. Oh my goodness, like a lot of years. And they had, really not spent many days apart. So I think maybe that childhood memory is just more typical of what probably my childhood was like.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Well, I'm observant. I do tend to observe people. I'm outgoing, but not right away. I'm probably the person who's going to meet you, smile, stand back a little bit, observe what's going on in the room, what you're doing, where you fit, and then sort of decide how I'm going to navigate after that. So I think maybe that's sort of part of it. My childhood memory doesn't really involve any action except observing. So, which is interesting because if you knew me very well, you would probably say that's odd because I'm very outgoing and I'm probably the first person that's going to make a move to do some action. But prior to the action, there'll be research and there'll be listening.
That's intriguing. So the name Across the Board, what does that represent?
Well, Across the Board is the name of our band, and it started out as kind of an eclectic bunch of friends who got together at garage jams and campfire jams and basement jam sessions from a variety of different backgrounds and musical styles and ages. I mean, we had 13-year-old on a cello to a 65-year-old on a keyboard at one point and in some of our YouTube videos. So when we were trying to come up with the name for the band, I remember plugging in the word eclectic into the thesaurus. I can't even say that, into the thesaurus on the internet. And I got back a bunch of statements, and one of them was across the board. And I thought, that's perfect because across the board is also a reference to the board that you record on. It's a term that we use very frequently in the English language. But it also is a musical reference to engineering. And it also is a reference to like an eclectic group of crazy people like we are.
That's amazing. Yeah. Can I offer a quick interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind when you expressed that memory? I did that.
No, yeah.
I just love the concept of if your parents were speaking and they were parallel to each other or facing each other, and you were then facing them, the cross. It's like you guys would have formed like a cross, and there's so much that goes on in that diagram. Then for learning, just pretty fascinating to see that. As I'm looking at the name of the band, and it's really Across the Board. If you had to read it, like
oh my
that.
God,
Yeah, it's pretty
that's
intriguing.
wonderful.
Yeah,
That's very interesting.
it's very interesting. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song at 12?
Yeah.
Probably, it's good to have to tell you because that album came out when I was 12. Paradise by the Dashboard Light or Took the words right out of my mouth. It would be one of those songs that I probably haven't listened to in 20 years, but that was what was going on at 12.
Love it. I love to connect dots, but just seeing you looking at your parents and they speaking, it's like they took the words out of your mouth, right?
That's true.
Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jackie, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I have.
Are you married?
I am married.
Do you have children?
I do. I have 2.
Do you believe
Actually,
in God?
3. What am I talking about? I have 3 kids. I've got 2 grandkids, for gosh sake.
Oh my.
I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I have a tight inner circle of friends.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about
Definitely.
screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
It's less than 8 hours a day, but some of it has to do with work, so I'm going to take a pass on some of it.
All right. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
You've got this.
Love it. Jackie, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would like to share how wonderful you've been tonight, Angel. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Jackie Auguste. How would you say your last name? Pronounce your last name for me, please.
Auguste.
Auguste. Oh, there we go.
Trini, it's going to be Auguste.
Oh, Jackie Auguste, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.